Hello, welcome to By Excellence Tutorials. So in this video, we are going to solve a question. This one is under momentum and collision. Yeah, this one is under momentum and collision, but basically I think we are going to use the concept of impulse to get to solve this question. So the question reads, a 75 kg ice skater moving at 10 meters per second crashes into a stationary skater of equal mass. After the collision, the two skaters move as a unit at 5 meters per second. Suppose the average force a skater can experience without breaking a bone is 4,500 Newton. If the impact time is 0.1 second, does a bone break? So when solving such questions, you don't just come up with the answer to say, yes, the bone breaks. No, the bone doesn't break. No, you have to do a calculation. You make calculations, and the calculations that you make are going to tell you the conclusion of the problem. So now, how do we go about it? So we can see that what we have here, we have, so let me put here, say data. What we have the mass, which is 75 kg. So both they moved as a unit and all that. And the initial speed here is 10 meters per second. After the collision, we've seen that the speed has reduced to 5 meters per second. All right. And then what we have here also is time of impact, which is 0.1 second. Okay, so now using this data, what do we need to do? So what we need to do in this case is to find the average force. All right, is to find the average force. And once we find that average force, we will have to compare it with the average force that the bone can withstand. Because we've been given in the question to say the average force a skater can experience without breaking, then it's what? It's 4,500 Newton. So we need to compare with this average force with the average force that we are going to find. If the average force that we're going to find is going to be less than this 4,500, it means the bone of this skater does not break. But if what we're going to find as the average force is going to be greater than what the skater can endure, it means the bone break here. So I believe you got the point. So now, how do we go about it? Impulse. So we know that impulse is given as the change in momentum, because we saw here that there was change in momentum. As long as there is change in velocity, in the speed, then there is change in momentum. So we have impulse being equal to the change in momentum. And this again is equal to the average force times the change in time, or the impact time, or the time of impact. So we have that. So now I'm going to pick this part. All this part means impulse. So I'm going to pick that part. And what I'm going to have is the average force change in time, being equal to change in momentum. So average force here, okay, was I needed to, no, I've explained that. All right, so average force is change in momentum, but change in time. And change in momentum, we've been told to say the mass is the same here. So what we're going to have, we're just going to factor out the mass, and we have final velocity minus the initial velocity of a change in time. So the average force is going to be 75 kg, and we have 5 meter per second minus 10 meter per second over the average time or the time of impact, which is 0.1 second. So the average force here is going to be, so here's 5 times -5 meter per second over 0.1 second. So the average force is going to be negative 3,750 Newton. All right. So this negative, right? This negative is just showing us or telling us the direction of this average force, that this force is opposite to the direction of these skaters, or to the motion of these skaters. So the skaters, if they were moving in the positive direction, the average force was in the negative x direction. All right, so the average here is just the magnitude. The magnitude, which is just 750 Newton. All right, so we have found now we found the average force here. So now what do? We make a conclusion here now to say, since the average force, all right, which is equal to 3,750 Newton, is less than that average force in the question that a skater can endure, 4,500 Newton, then the bond won't break. All right, was it hard? So that is how you attend to such questions. I believe this explains it. I think I have explained how to go about this question. Remember that happiness is understanding and clearing physics. So if you found this video to be helpful, kindly like, give it a reaction, give me a comment, and you can share as well with your colleagues and friends so that they can as well benefit from these videos. Otherwise, thank you so much for your time.